Good afternoon and welcome to CricketCountry's live analysis of India's squad for 5 Test series against England and Costa Rica. And with me is Shikhar Dhawan. Well, before we start the session, if you have any questions regarding the squad, please put them in the comment box. Shikhar and I will answer them. Shikhar, there are lots of changes. We thought we may not see a lot of changes for the England series. First things first, Rohit Sharma is injured. He was seen struggling again in the last ODI. He, I think, hurt his left leg. He's Virat Kohli's favorite guy.
Correct.
Would it be a difficult scenario for India without Rohit Sharma? He scored 2 or 3 50s.
Yeah, he did score 2 or 3 very crucial half centuries against New Zealand. But looking back at it entirely, I'm looking at what has happened now.
Yeah.
What the initial reports right now are saying that Rohit Sharma is out for 6 to 8 weeks and he might be needing a surgery as well. So we may be missing Rohit Sharma for the entire series at all. The squad which has been selected is for the first 2 Test matches.
Yeah.
So what we have right now is with the retention of somebody like Karun Nair, who is a very strong middle order batsman. We can have him. We can actually see him making his Test debut in the first Test itself, because there is a slight amount of opening in the lower order where Rohit Sharma usually batted in the New Zealand series.
Yeah. Well, before we go to the lower middle order, let's talk about the openers.
Yeah.
Dhawan is still injured.
Yes.
KL Rahul is still injured.
Correct.
India have retained Gambhir, which is a very good sign for the Delhiite.
Correct.
Gambhir and Murli will open.
Yes. Gambhir and Murli Vijay definitely will open. Gambhir got a very crucial half century in the final innings of the last Test which he played, which was against New Zealand at Indore.
Yeah.
Now that is settled. I mean the top order till number 5 it looks settled because you have Murli Vijay, Gambhir, then at number 3 you have Cheteshwar Pujara. At number 4 you have your best batsman, that is Virat Kohli, the captain, and at number 5 is Ajinkya Rahane.
Yeah.
So there should ideally be no tinkering around here because that's the most experienced order and the most balanced order which India can produce for the first 2 Test matches. But at number 6 is again very, very interesting. It could be a very interesting battle, and I'm a little afraid whether India might get swayed into trying out something extra. Like there is Jayant Yadav on the side who has a very good, very decent first class record, and there is very promising Hardik Pandya who got his both these players got their ODI debuts in the series against New Zealand. And then there are other candidates as well. Ravindra Jadeja can bat up with the order. Even Ravichandran Ashwin can come up in the order. There is Riddhiman Saha. There are a few other options as well. So we'll have to wait and watch for number 6 onwards.
Let's put some more light on Gambhir. He was once number 1 Test batsman.
Correct.
In 2011, when India went to England, the onus was on him and Sehwag. Both struggled horribly. Gambhir, before that, Gambhir played well in New Zealand, South Africa. Then when England came to India, Gambhir again failed. I think is England the only team that Gambhir hasn't failed to shine against?
Probably.
How important this series is for Gambhir individually?
Rather than what I would like to answer is rather than Gambhir, it is most important for India to win because since 2011, India and England have played as many as 13 Test matches.
Yeah.
India have won only 2. Yeah. England have won 9 out of them. Now they are winning Test matches. Only 2 Test matches have been.
India have lost 3 consecutive series.
3 consecutive series. Exactly. So more than anybody, any individual in this series, it is important for India to start all right. To set the tone first up, to make a big start. In the location, the venue where they are going to play the first Test, Rajkot, it is definitely going to give them slight advantage because what we expect is a proper spinning wicket over there. There is Ashwin, Jadeja, Amit Mishra, there is Jayant Yadav, another specialist spinner. So that is more important. Coming back to Gambhir, yes, it is a big test, and that is something which Gambhir will have to will have to take this test and prove because he was recalled in the 2014 squad. He was the one who replaced Dhawan in probably after 3 Test matches when Dhawan continued to flop.
Yeah.
Now Gambhir also squandered a couple of starts. I mean, he was run out in one of those innings, and he was guilty of playing a bad shot when there was a storm around in Manchester, if I'm not wrong. So this is personally going to be a very big test for Gambhir as well because 2012 series, 11 series, that is where it all began. India started stumbling, their batting order started failing, and Gambhir, he was being looked as he was looked as the next Rahul Dravid. I mean, we remember what he did in Napier. We remember what he did in the World Cup final. I mean, digging in bailing the team out of trouble and winning the matches or even forcing the draw. So Gambhir was being looked upon as one of the stars who will take the Indian batting forwards. But along with the greats who crumbled around that time, Tendulkar, there was Dravid in the Australia series, Tendulkar in both Australia and England, Lakshman in both Australia and England. So looking back at it all, I mean, Gambhir was somebody who was looked upon as somebody who would take Indian batting forward, but he could not do that.
Yeah.
Now that he has got one another chance against England, because 2011 it was a nightmare for India in England. 2012, once again, even bigger nightmare because you lost at home and Gambhir did not perform. Now 2014 was a chance of redemption. He failed. He did not do anything. But now he has probably the one final chance to make it count. To have a say against England. No, I am a good batsman. I can make runs, beat anywhere, and this is going to be a big challenge for Gambhir as well. And even Murali Vijay, 45 runs in the last 4 innings against New Zealand.
But he did perform well.
He
has been a very good overseas player compared to what he has been performing.
The application has been there, but if you look at in the retrospect, what I think is the big centuries. Those centuries are somewhere. Vijay will hang around. He'll make you the runs. He'll make you 70 or 80 odd runs. He'll bat for 4-5 hours and then he'll be gone. I mean, what you need is your openers to go on and get big centuries, and that is how you set the tone earlier first up. So that is what India will have to. Will be hoping from these two men.
Well, talking about long innings, Virat Kohli has been ominous in the last 3-4 months. He scored double century against West Indies, becoming the first Indian captain to do so. He scored a double century against New Zealand. When India lost the last 3 series, MS Dhoni was the captain. This time we have a different captain, different approach.
Yes.
Virat Kohli in the last series against Australia in the 5-match series, against England in the 5-match series, could not emulate his brilliance. How important is this series? He has the reputation for avenging all the losses. He's very aggressive. Would those wounds still be fresh?
The wounds should be fresh because Virat Kohli, I mean, the best batsman of the generation. What we are looking at. I mean, if we look at his numbers, in Test cricket he might be slightly behind the other guys because guys like Steven Smith, Kane Williamson, Steven Smith in particular, he has a double hundred in England. Joe Root, he has centuries everywhere he has scored in South Africa as well. But looking at Virat Kohli, and the average of 13.40 is something which still rips.
There's no Anderson.
Yeah, there is no Anderson. He might be back from the 4th Test onwards. But what you have to remember is, your record, individual as well as a team, is not good at all against England, and that is what you are going to set out starting November 9th when the first test is going to be underway. So, personally, as well as from the team's perspective, it is very important for Virat Kohli to be in the right frame of the mind. Definitely, he will be via nobody to comment because he is one champion cricketer who knows what he's a big match player, he's a big occasion player. He will definitely stand up. But there's no point in taking some additional extra kind of pressure as well, because we have seen England are failing. However deep they bat, however good amount of talent they have, however stoic or however adamant their captain and the vice captain is, the point is England are struggling to put off favourable results, and that is something which will I expect go in India's favour at certain point of time.
Well, talking about his captaincy, when India faced New Zealand, he was up against a 25-year-old Kane Williamson. Jason Holder still young. Before that, it was Angelo Matthews, Sri Lanka. This time it's Alistair Cook, who has experienced almost a decade. England's highest run scorer. He will be up against a champion captain.
He will be up against a very champion cricketer, first of all, because Alistair Cook is probably the best test batsman from what I can see. He's one guy who can bat in almost every single condition, every kind of attack, against any kind of bowling attack. But that's just Alistair Cook, and he's not the team. He's just one out of the 11 players England had. And remember, what England had in 2012 was a bunch of champion cricketers. There was Kevin Peterson, there was Matt Pryor, there was Graham Swan, there was James Henderson, there was Stuart Broad. It was a good bunch which knew how to fight, which knew how to take the fight till the end. But what England have right now, I mean, is they do have slight amount of experience. Like Joe Root has 20 odd test matches. Gary Barnes, I mean, he's struggling big time, but again, 20 odd test matches. Ben Stokes, very young, very talented. England are depending a hell lot of him. There is the veteran Stuart Broad as well. But what Alistair Cook has around him is a good bunch of talent, but not necessarily or the requisite experience which he might need in these kind of conditions.
Well, point granted. Well, the surprise of the day and the breaking news. India have selected Hardik Pandya.
Again, Jayant Yadav.
Jayant Yadav. We can understand there's no Rohit Sharma at number 6. Why all of a sudden Hardik Pandya? All-rounder, yes. India have been
Yes.
looking for the all-rounder ever since Kapil Dev called today. India had Irfan Pathan.
Yeah.
But do you think Hardik Pandya is ready for Test cricket?
I think it's a little premature, but what India is wanting to do is to probably send out a statement to England that they are not going to be soft on any front, because Hardik Pandya is somebody we saw before the New Zealand series, this recently concluded New Zealand series. He can work up a lot of pace, so he can act as a second seamer, and then you can play around other spinners as well, as many spinners as you like, which may be up to number 3. He can bat as well, and if you recall how he batted in the New Zealand series, he was batting with a lot more assurance, and he was looking to spend time with the wicket. There was one inning in the second ODI, I think 37 or 36.
Yeah.
Not a single stroke played in the air. Everything was on the ground. So that tells you about the maturity. But then if you look back at the first class records, I don't think he stands a very strong chance against someone like Jayant Yadav, who has 2 centuries. Hardik Pandya in 16 first class matches, no centuries, and 5 half centuries. At the same time, Jayant, the captain of Saurashtra, far more experience, 42 first class matches, 2 centuries, 5 half centuries. But if you look at their batting averages, Hardik still lags behind.
Yeah.
But I think Jayant is around 28 plus. And even in the bowling average, Hardik is not very impressive, around 32, 33.
And India will be playing in their home conditions.
Exactly. So the main dependence will be on the spinners. There is Ravichandran Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja, Amit Mishra, then there is Jayant Yadav. So these guys are there, and then your batters are there. Cheteshwar Pujara at number 3, Virat Kohli at number 4, Rahane at number 5. All these guys have scored centuries in the recent past, right? And there is Gambhir and Murali Vijay in the top as well. If they get in, I mean, definitely a lot of people will want Karun Nair to come in at number 6 rather than any other specialist all-rounder, because we have to remember is Ravindra Jadeja is already the all-rounder what you need, and before him is Ravindra Jadeja. I mean, it's very tough to put him in any kind of category, a specialist spinner or a specialist batsman. So India should not be wondering, India should not be fretting over whom should be their specialist all-rounder. Rather, they can get in Karun Nair at number 6.
Well, in other news, Ishant Sharma is back.
Yeah.
He played a massive role in the only victory at Lords in 2014. He did not play a single match due to illness.
Correct.
Mohammad Shami is there. Yadav is there. Would you play Ishant Sharma ahead of him?
Mohammad Shami, any kind of wicket which is if the team is playing in India, because Shami has reinvented himself as a bowler. Right from the time he has returned to the Indian national side, that is the West Indies series, what we have seen is he has far more control over the ball.
Yeah.
The bouncers are coming off very well. There is swing, there is reverse swing on a consistent basis. And Shami is also putting in a lot of pace. The control which Shami is coming up with the ball is the most impressive part of his bowling.
Yeah. Umesh Yadav played well in the Test series. He was decent, but he was brilliant in the ODI series.
Yeah.
Again, so Ishant Sharma or Umesh Yadav. Ishant Sharma has been India's bowling spearhead for the past 2-3 years, 4 years, ever since Saeed Khan called it off. Umesh Yadav, Ishant Sharma.
I'll go for Ishant Sharma because he has the requisite experience. He has, but it depends on what kind of track India, what kind of track there will be, and what kind of team combination would Virat Kohli would have selected.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for Umesh Yadav, then you also have to keep in mind that along with Umesh Yadav comes along some extra runs. But with Ishant, you can at least be assured of a lot of dot balls outside the off stump.
Well, now we have a question from Vishal Sancheti. What should be the batting position for Hardik Pandya if he plays?
It's very tough to say, but if he plays,
obviously after Rahane.
I'll say after Ashwin.
After Ashwin?
Yeah.
But there's Riddhiman Saha.
Have some more solidity at the end of the.
But Saha won't get enough time to score runs.
Saha no. You don't need to give Saha the time to score runs. He has the talent to score runs. He has the talent to make the tail bat along him, and then stretch India's lead, to stretch India's innings in whatever situation they are in.
Well, now talking about Indian spinners. Should India go for a 5 bowler strategy for Ashwin? There would be Jadeja, no doubt. As you said, Ishant Sharma should play ahead of Yadav because of the experience.
But are we looking at two seamers or one seamer?
If Pandya plays, India don't need two seamers.
I am saying rest keep Pandya in the pack.
Yeah.
Throw in Karuna at number 6. You need to be batting heavy because you can't take risk of you can't take the risk of scoring less runs when your opponent like England. They, I mean, looking at how the England team is batting right now, their top order is batting as if it's their tail, and the tail are batting as if it's the top order. I mean, guys like Johnny Bairstow coming in at number 7. Then there is Moeen Ali. Then there is Ben Stokes. Then after that, Stuart Broad. Then Adil Rashid. There are a lot of guys who can add a lot of crucial runs.
So let's look at the likely 11. Murli Vijay, Gautam Gambhir opening.
Murli and Gautam Gambhir.
Number 3 is no doubt.
4 is
Virat Kohli. 5 is Rahane. 6 is
Karun Nair.
So 6 specialist batsmen.
Yeah.
Number 7 Ashwin. Number 8
Saha.
Jadeja.
Ishan
Sharma, Shami.
I'll say Shami.
Okay, Shami then Ishan Sharma.
I'll say Shami. I mean, Shami.
So only 4 bowlers.
Amit
Mishra somewhere.
Mishra definitely.
But then again, one batsman has to go. Depending on the track. So would it be difficult for Virat Kohli? Would it be a selection conundrum?
It is definitely going to be, because if you look at the Indian team right now, I mean the state which Indian cricket is right now. Indian cricket is spoiled for choices. There are far too many options for very limited number of spots. We should not forget, there is Dhawan, KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma who are not there in the first squad for the first 3 test matches. So whoever does not perform in the first 2 test matches, first of all, they're not going to tinker around with the first 1 to 5. Any changes are going to be towards the end of it. So it is also going to be tough for these 3 men to get into the Indian team. If Gambhir gets big runs, then Dhawan has to wait.
Well, if you look at it, given England's current batting form, India don't need 5 bowlers. Bangladesh just needed 2 spinners, Shakib Al Hasan and Mehdi Hasan. England have a problem with the footwork. They don't lean forward in subcontinent conditions. So I think it would be safe to have Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja.
It's good to have.
India also have Murli Vijay.
But Murli Vijay is not a wicket-taking option. He is not taking too many wickets. What India must have is 3 spinners, 1 fast bowler. That should be it.
That should be it. Yeah, 1 fast bowler.
Yeah, 1 fast bowler. You start with Ravichandran Ashwin, the good new hard ball first up.
Yeah,
you see Ben Duckett. He's in all probability he's going to open the innings for England, because England stuck with them in the second test. I was expecting England to get, if they were audacious enough. I mean, if they were generous enough to make Zafar Ansari play in place of Gareth Batty, who took 4 wickets in the first match, they should have played Haseeb Hamid in place of Ben Duckett in the second test. But Ben Duckett, I mean, look at the guy. He 2 test matches, I think 1/2 century in the final innings. Yeah. He's a very short guy. So if you're making Ravichandran Ashwin bowl, the good hard new ball on the hard surface first up, bat chances goes up much higher.
Well, sticking to that point, in the last 1 year and a half, Virat Kohli, unlike Dhoni, doesn't opt for he doesn't allow Ashwin to bowl the first over.
MS Dhoni. I know what you're getting at, and I'll answer you. MS Dhoni captained India for a very long time, from 2007-8 till 2014. So 7-8 good long years. Virat Kohli probably second year into his career.
Why not?
So that infatuation with the fast bowlers has not yet subsided.
Yeah.
But when MS Dhoni was around, I mean, he had Zaheer Khan, he had other bowlers as well. So Dhoni used to stick with these guys. But when there were conditions, I mean, Dhoni never backed off from using his spinners first up. And if there is a chance, I mean, if there is a possibility of getting early wickets with the spinners, I mean, why not take it?
Well, there's Prabhat Tomar who wants to say hi. Hello, Prabhat. And we have a question from Ayush Gupta. Should Akshar Patel have got the nod ahead of Hardik Pandya?
Very tough question to answer, because Bapu, as we fondly know him, has played 3 more first-class matches than Hardik Pandya, and he has a batting average which is probably among the best, 54.10.
There's Jadeja already in the ranks.
Jadeja already in the ranks, the left-arm spinner. So probably this is what something would have gone against India.
Yeah.
If you're looking at Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, then you're looking at him as a batsman towards the lower order in the limited overs format, not in the test format, because you already have many guys over there. There is Ridhiman Saha, there is Ravichandran Ashwin, there is Ravindra Jadeja, Mohammad Shami can bat a bit as well. And if there is Bhuvneshwar Kumar around, then you can also expect some more runs.
So unfortunate Bhuvi is injured.
Bhuvi is injured.
Full
From what
India
we
plays
heard
Bhuvi.
from BCCI secretary was he is still not completely fit. He has been training a little bit. Even Dhawan, he has just recently started batting in the match, but he is not match fit. And one of the reports which I read in one of the tabloids of late, I mean very recently, was very interesting point which I came across. I mean, I saw that report on only one publication, so I cannot say that it's so confirmed. But the report said that knowing Virat Kohli's love towards fitness levels, Indian team, the fitness standards, there is some point system. So the point system has been increased.
Yeah.
So that was the reason why Raina did not play in the ODI series, because he was not his results were not coming up to those many points.
Yeah.
They were falling into the standards which were there previously. So something has changed, which has definitely not been declared by BCCI as of now.
Well, now we have the question of the day. Vishwanath Vinny, he asks, why haven't India added Yuvraj Singh in the squad? It's a difficult question to decipher. It's a $1 million question.
It's a $1 million question. I mean, Yuvraj
he was on the verge of scoring his maiden triple century.
Yeah.
But where would Yuvraj Singh fit?
It's very tough to answer. And Yuvraj Singh was there in 2012. We all remember what happened.
Yeah.
So probably we can just say that Indian selectors are looking into the future, not giving. I mean, it's very tough to answer.
Haven't they been looking for future for the last almost a decade? Every year we look for future. We don't settle to one.
We don't settle to one thing, but the point is, Yuvraj is somebody who has been given a lot of many chances, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was there in England. He unfortunately got his thumb injured since then. His position in the test team has been in jeopardy.
Yeah. Well, another interesting question. Pramod Anand asked, will it be a bad idea to play Rahane at 3 and Pujara open the innings? Very interesting.
Make me understand this question, because when you have Gambhir and Vijay at the top, why will you tinker with it?
No, let's say Gambhir has been out. He played a beautiful innings, beautiful 50 in the last test match. Given that, Pujara's record at the opening slot is very good. He scored 100 in Sri Lanka last year. So let's say Pujara and Murli Vijay, number 3 Rahane, number 4 Kohli, let's say number 5 Karun, and number 6 Hardik Pandya. Wouldn't that increase the batting strength?
It can increase the batting strength, but Cheteshwar Pujara is your best batsman at number 3, so let's not move him from that position anywhere at all. So he's your best batsman at number 3, Virat Kohli at number 4, and Rahane at number 5, because you need that grittiness of Rahane towards if there is a batting collapse earlier in the inning. So let's not take care of that.
Dikshant Gupta asks, will Amit Mishra get a chance to bowl with Ashwin and we'll see Jadeja? I think we answered that question, but still.
Yeah, I mean,
Amit Mishra played really well in the ODI series.
Yeah.
He played brilliantly. He has been very unfortunate that when he started his cricket, there was Anil Kumble already in the ranks.
If India turn up with Jadeja, Ashwin, and Mishra, it is going to be around. I don't think the likes of
Amit Mishra can bat as well.
I'm not looking at the batting. I'm looking at how England are batting right now. I mean, there is Gary Bannett, who's struggling to find who's struggling to remember where his off stump is. I'm being brutally honest over here, but the guy has really disappointed. For over the last 2 years, he had one brilliant series against India in 2014. Since then, let's see his numbers. Not even a century, which I can recall. There is far too much of pressure on Alistair Cook. There is far too much of pressure on Joe Root, and far too much, even more pressure on probably Ben Stokes, because he's been expected to move around the ball. Because now that England know that there is no James Atkinson, they will be looking at other options. And in this case, Stuart Broad can't move the ball. I mean, he'll need the conditions to be in favor.
He can reverse swing the ball.
Yeah, he'll have those one.
But the ball will come under the bat.
One freak sessions.
India can flick it.
India can, and he can also create a lot of damage. That is not another thing. But again, they're looking at Ben Stokes as a swing bowler option. They're looking at Chris Woakes as a swing bowler option. So it's a very interesting thing. But looking at England's batting, let's see how many of them can actually play and survive and probably score more runs against Spain, which I don't think it is happening. DRS is there. We have forgotten that.
Well, our friend Ayush Gupta is in favor of DRS.
Yes.
After a long time, India has opted for DRS.
Yes.
Will it be different for India? Because India aren't used to DRS.
It should not be very, very difficult.
But it's a smart choice.
It's
a smart choice, but
smart
you
choice.
have to use it wisely as well.
It's a smart choice, but it's a very dumb way of implementing the entire process, because cricket has so much of money, ICC has so much of money flowing in. If you want to have DRS, first of all, why do you want to have technology in the place? First of all, tell me that.
Well,
No, answer me this one. Why do you want to have technology in the sport at all?
well, we have seen umpires making wrong calls.
Correct.
There are times when uh, players aren't honest.
Correct.
We have seen they going against the spirit of the game.
Correct.
So I think it's and because there's so much pressure on umpires of late, I think it's wise to have DRS. It's not easy because everything happens in a fraction of a second.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
so
So,
it's
so
better-
you're looking at DRS. I mean, you're having DRS to
Yeah.
make
As a
sure
backup.
that human error does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
There would
So,
be.
there have been instances
Oh,
where
yes.
umpires have actually pressed the wrong button. But the point is, there's no point in having the technology 50% and missing out on a very important part of the technology. Hotspot is not going to be there. So what is the use of having the technology and then not having it in complete?
Yeah, but why all of a sudden India went for DRS?
It has been around. See, the point is the previous regime under Narayan Swamy Srinivasan. I mean, even they and Srinivasan and team, they were not very happy with the results or the accuracy of this thing,
Yeah.
DRS. And even the senior players like Tendulkar and MS Dhoni were not in favor. But
Yeah.
I remember reading one single report when Virat Kohli he came into the Indian side as a captain.
Yeah.
I think India were in Sri Lanka and there was a question around DRS being asked.
Yeah.
So around that time, Anurag Thakur was at the helm, and Virat Kohli said that he definitely is very excited with the prospect of having DRS. He wants to discuss with his entire team.
Yeah.
And now the test team is very, very young. All of them are very good friends. Rahane Kohli, Rahane Rohit. So they might have discussed and they would have given the nod ahead to BCCI to take it up.
Sai Dilip has a question about Saha. He wants us to talk more about Saha. What
Okay.
about Saha? Talking about the batting position, you clearly want Ravichandran Ashwin ahead of you.
Yeah.
But Saha is a specialist batsman. We saw in the last series against New Zealand, against West Indies as well, he and Ashwin scored a 213-run partnership. Saha is a class apart batsman. He can tackle spin, he can tackle pace. So, given that England have very good pacers, should he bat ahead of Ashwin? Should he get that edge ahead of Ashwin?
See,
Fair and square.
When I said that Saha should not bat ahead of Ashwin or Ashwin should bat ahead of Saha,
Yeah.
was because of one thing. Ashwin is getting you runs, and as far as he's doing that, you should be very, very happy
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
But Saha is somebody who guarantees you runs. He
Yeah.
guarantees you the solidity. Ashwin may fail, but you can't expect Saha to fail because he is just that good. So to have somebody even better in the lower order, with the batting with the tail,
Yeah.
Saha knows how to make these guys bat around him. We have seen in the New Zealand series, we saw that in the West Indies tour as well. So to have a better option or to have one solid batsman towards
Yeah.
the end of the innings helps you a big time compared to having a bunch of tail-ender batsmen clogged together. I'm not saying Ashwin is a tail-ender batsman.
Yeah.
Ashwin can definitely get a lot more runs than probably the tail put together or probably some of the top order batsmen. But
Yeah.
Ashwin, at the end of the day, is a specialist spinner, right? We're expecting him to take the wickets. You're not expecting him to score the run. So to prolong India's innings, I'll recall another instance. Before the English summer in 2011, Matt Pryor wrote an article in the Sun or probably the Mirror, it doesn't matter. But he wrote that my role will be to frustrate the opponents out there in the park because
Yeah.
when the batting greats would have done batting like Alistair Cook, Kevin Peterson, Andrew Strauss around that time, right?
Yeah.
Then I will come towards the end of the innings and my role has been clearly told to me to frustrate the opponents to keep them as long as I can out there in the park. Now this is a very important thing. This is what Saha can do to England. If Matt Pryor did this to India in
Yeah.
2011, so if Saha can do this to England, you're having your tit for tat. What's wrong in that?
Well, Sai, there's the answer. I'm sure they just mentioned everything. Well, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
let's do preview and predictions.
Yeah.
How much do you think? 5-0 India? Let's be unbiased cricket journalists.
Another.
Let's be unbiased cricket
Yeah,
journalists. Yeah. But let's be practically honest.
Let's be practically honest. Let's be very, very practically honest. Around 2012, in England tour of India, there was a short snippet video interview of Cheteshwar Pujara, which probably among all the people who have discussed it is something which I remember. Cheteshwar Pujara, very young, fatless Cheteshwar Pujara, very young-looking boy, coming off a very impressive double century against New Zealand. He was heading into the England series at home, and he said we should be able to win it 4-0 and avenge the defeat which we suffered last year. Now we all remember what happened. 2-1.
Yeah.
England took it. India was surprised. I mean, there was Monty Panesar, there was Graham Swan getting through the gate of Virat Kohli and then coming into the press conference saying that okay, it was a pebble which actually assisted in the turn. So we can expect some fight, some very strong fight from England because they bat very deep. They have packed as many spinners as they can. I just hope that they don't start asking Alistair Cook to bowl as well. But let's not underestimate England. I mean,
Final answer.
I mean,
It's difficult, I
At
know.
the end of it, I mean, looking at how India have fared against England, 9 Test matches lost out of 13, only 2 draws and 2 victories does not tell India that they are a good Test side.
Yeah.
If the Indian team, if the new Indian team under Virat Kohli, if this is the bunch which is going to be the face of the Indian team for the next 7, 8, 10 years, then they will have to make a very strong statement here itself that okay, whatever has happened. We want to make a strong statement, make it final, and wipe the slate clean and then starting it.
Well, the first test will start from 9th November. We have live blogs in English and Hindi, and I'm sure we covered all the bases covered, answered all the questions. Well, that's it from us. For more updates, log on to cricketcountry.com. Thank you.
Thank you.